Join Gator great Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning. You're looking live at PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. It's Monday, folks. Kicking off a new week. We got JC, and then we'll have Creed Whittemore. We're actually going to have Creed today. He overslept, young college kid, overslept on, I guess, Friday. He apologized to me multiple times, and I told the folks I'd apologize for him, but we plan. He said he was going to set multiple alarms today, and I've texted him too. So we'll have Creed Whittemore talk Mississippi State football and anything else. JC, you're on the Titan MR hotline. Right. What's going on?
Well, as I'm back, did a little traveling this weekend. QB missed on Friday. Sorry about that, but I was up in an area where it's a different world called Blue Ridge, Georgia, up there by the South Carolina and Georgia borders, about 2 hours from Atlanta in the mountains. Drove back yesterday to the airport, and as I was driving, of course, the Atlanta Braves had just finished playing the Baltimore Orioles and won 3-2, and we caught some of that traffic coming out of that Marietta exit. But even on Sunday, Highway 285 is very busy in Atlanta. That place is crazy. It is crazy. But got to the airport and then had the traffic of Hartsfield International Airport and walking this way and this way and this way and this way for exactly 1 hour and 5 minutes before I could get to the screener. So that I don't know why the hell everybody in Atlanta was leaving at the same time on Sunday night as I was, but made the flight, thankfully, and here we go. So it was a lot to deal with trying to get home from Atlanta, But QB, I was keeping my eye on the baseball team, and I was really feeling good Friday night when they pulled that 6-5 win out. And I thought, you know what, you get a win against Texas A&M, you've done something. And then we get the 15-2, and then we get the 3-2 loss. And
do you know how they lost yesterday? They lost on a walk-off balk.
Yeah, I mean, that's just heart-wrenching, man. And so lessons learned, but I don't like these run rule games that I'm finding Florida involved in here recently. The 15-2, they got run ruled a couple weekends ago against South Carolina. And so I don't know what that's a sign of, but I don't like it. And now you've got Vanderbilt coming up. So, all of a sudden, my top 8 seed window of 1 through 8 is slipping away. And that's not what I was hoping for.
Well, let me just give you a rundown. I mean, people freak out over baseball when you lose a game because you play so many games. This past weekend, the top 10 in America, listen to what happened to them. Okay. The Fighting Tigers of LSU is supposed to be the greatest damn baseball team we've ever seen.
Right.
They lost their series to Auburn.
That's right.
Okay. Wake Forest, number 2, won their series 2-1. South Carolina got swept by Kentucky. Okay. The Gators lost their series to A&M. Vandy lost their series to your alma mater, Bama.
Which is ridiculous. I mean, they fire the coach and everything goes up.
Arkansas swept Mississippi State. So anyway, that's just their top 5 or 6. So going into this weekend, the standings I have here, which I didn't even realize this, in the West, you know some guys from Louisiana that go to this golf tournament, and somehow on social media, their pages always pop up, and they talk more trash about LSU baseball going to Omaha, blah, blah. They're not even winning the West right now. I didn't realize that. Arkansas leads the West. It's a two-way go in the West. Arkansas 17-7, LSU's is 16-7. Everybody else, Alabama's actually in third at 11-13. Shocking. You go to the East, Vandy's at 17-7. The Gators are at 15-9. Carolina at 14-9. Kentucky at 14-10. So a lot of baseball left, but big series with the Commodes rolling into town.
Oh yeah, like to win 2 out of 3 there. Alabama, with the coach getting fired, Bohannon, there has to be some some issues there off the field, of course. And to beat Vanderbilt was very surprising to me. But, you're right. That crew we talked about, they've got their tickets booked in Omaha already in a hotel. They've already got a hotel in Omaha. So, you're right, though, QB. It is a long season, arduous. And just try to maintain. I just want a top 8 seed. That's really my biggest thing. The SEC tournament is coming and it goes, but I don't care about that either.
Yeah, they need to probably win this series. But anyway, softball loses their series. They win game 1, lose the last. Softball's lost more one-run games, just had bad luck this year.
Bad luck.
Regular season's over. They're going to be in Fayetteville at Arkansas for the SEC tournament. Probably need to win a bunch of games there just to even play at home. So we'll see. JC, how did we do on our Peachland Dental golf picks?
So I tried to find that. You had I had Tony Finau, but you had one of the Korean golfers, M. And then yes, you had him. And then you also took a guy that finished higher than one of my guys. You had, Homa, right? You took Max Homa. So he was 9 under, and the winner was Wyndham Clark, who finished at
Wyndham
19.
Clark, he's an Oregon Duck, and he absolutely just destroys the golf ball.
Yeah, very long player. Had 4 rounds in the 60s at Quail Hollow. That's saying something. Shot a 63 on Saturday. Finished up with a 68. Had a 4-stroke win over Xander Schauffele and a 7-stroke win over Harris English. Like the hockey playoffs, it wasn't that close. And so I know they're getting this. They're tuning themselves up for the PGA Championship in New York in 2 weeks. I want to say next week is the Byron Nelson. That's right, and then the PGA Championship. I didn't see John. So John Rahm didn't play in the Wells Fargo thing, so he took that off. He played in Mexico the week before. Took the week off. He'll probably take the week off from the ATT and get ready for the PGA. So the ATT is one of those tournaments again before a major. It's an opportunity for guys without status or down on the money list to increase their standing. So
Dan says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law, the first losing SEC record under Tim Walton. It's hard to believe. He's been here like 16 or 17 years.
Long time.
They haven't pitched well, but boy, they've had some bad luck and lost some very close games. Alan says the softball tournament starts Tuesday. Gators play Wednesday at 7 against Kentucky. Winner plays Tennessee, who's the number 1. I think they're the number 1 seed. Tennessee.
Yeah, I don't. There's just this one thing with the softball team that's been missing, and it's that go-to player. The Kelly Barnhill or the player that would take over a game. Kelsey Stewart.
They haven't had that. They haven't had the pitching. I mean, they got the number 1 recruiting class coming in next year. So
that's a good rebound from this year. This year's been a disappointment. I think he'll tell you that. Anybody will tell you that. But good recruits coming in.
You're probably going to have the player of the year though. The national player of the year.
True. But it's a blue blood program in softball. There's no doubt about it. But again, we're all living in Oklahoma's world, and it's just I think somewhat of a formality, QB. I mean, is that wrong to say this early in the postseason that I already know who's going to win? So I don't,
Well, Oklahoma is the most dominant. They're more dominating.
Ever.
They're a dynasty. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's so like I said, it's kind of like we're just seeing who's going to end up having the privilege of getting run ruled by Oklahoma in the finals.
Daniel says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon. Hey, Shane, after 40 years of playing golf, I had my first eagle ever this weekend. He chipped in on a par 3.
Wow.
Made a 3. Good for you, Daniel.
Wait, he chipped in on a par 5.
Par 5, I meant. 4-3. 4-3.
So that is tremendous. Way to go, Daniel. You'll get hooked now, dude. It's going to become like something.
He's been playing 40 years, JC.
I know,
he's been hooked.
Oh, he has? Okay, well then, great job. It's about time you made one. So good job, Daniel. I saw a guy have a hole-in-one this weekend. Guy had a hole-in-one. So
Did you give him $100?
No, luckily I was in the group ahead of him, and we were looking back actually at the tee box and saw this ball bounce on the green. Damn thing went in. Crazy.
Titanamar text line. Speaking of the Titanamar text line, I let everybody know last week. Joe Florio, who owns Titan MRI, has been a great sponsor of our program,
Yeah.
sponsors a lot of things in the community,
Yeah.
has a fine business. You know, his family was part owner of Forte, who had to scratch, was the favorite of the Kentucky Derby. He was there
Wow. Wow.
and he scratched. I saw pictures of Joe in his fancy suit and his wife with a big old hat on.
Oh, what happened? Why did he scratch?
Because when the vet checked him pre-race or the day before, touched his foot and he winced, and that means he has a bone bruise. JC, don't you know these kind of things?
Yeah, I'm all over the horse racing. No,
yeah, so they don't. They wouldn't let him. They scratched him. So he had an injury. So they don't let horses run when they're injured.
No, they'll die. They'll die. What? So did a favorite win or an underdog? I saw absolutely
15-1. Mage, I think MAGE. I don't know. I guess that's probably how you pronounce his name. I picked the 9 horse Skinner. Yeah, he was a scratch too. So
it was the 15-1 horse. They won. It won.
Yeah.
So
you didn't watch the race, JC?
Dude, I was in the Blue Ridge, bro.
Well, they have TVs there.
Text.
We got a text on the Titan MR text line.
Okay.
Chris from Cottondale says, Shane, you aren't the only guy that says 8 wins minimum this year. I've been saying the same thing for a while now. I think we're going to be much improved across the board, and I'm confident in this team going forward, barring significant injuries. Okay, I saw on Twitter. You know what our win total set at, and I'm telling you right now, it is a lock.
It's a lock.
You know what the win total is set for the Gators by DraftKings or one of those places?
6.
5.5.
5.5. So 6 wins. So
yes, it's a lock. I'm telling you, it's a lock.
Yeah, I want to ask the last tweeter or texter or why he's so confident about 8 wins. I mean, I guess he can't. Really
I can't speak for him. I'm just reading. Yeah, I am so confident, JC. Okay, let me ask you this though. Let me ask you this. What makes you think that you aren't going to beat Vanderbilt, Kentucky, South Carolina? I'm just asking, or Missouri.
Just because that's who Florida's become almost.
Okay, but regardless of that.
No, that's why.
Most people, so it's a toss-up.
Right.
You're saying it's a toss-up. Okay, then. Right. So why don't you just those are, in my opinion, those are wins. Those are going to be wins.
Of course, that's your opinion, but I mean, what have you seen the last 2 years that tells you that's an automatic W? Why?
Because you're going to be more consistent on offense. That will be a fact. That will be a fact.
How do you know South Carolina won't be more consistent?
They might be. We beat South Carolina last year, and here's my argument, because I was waiting for you to say, "Well, you lost to them last year."
I didn't say that.
Here's what drives me crazy. What happened last year has no bearing on what's going to happen this year.
I get it. It's fine. But what happened last year gives me no confidence on why this year will be so much better, because nobody knows what you got.
They don't, but I'm telling you, they have better players on this year's team than last year's team.
We'll see. I mean,
I'm just giving you facts, JC. You need facts. Daryl says on the Titan MR text line, I blame the Gator baseball losses on the trains coming through Bluebell Park.
That's tough. Now, I did ask a guy at the Blue Ridge Brasstown Brewery about the Georgia Bulldogs, and he just started laughing because he had a big G on his shirt, and he started laughing, and he goes, I just want to get to the playoffs. He didn't even think about or consider the regular season. I said, so do you ever go to the game in Jacksonville to play the Fighting Gators? He goes, we used to, but it's boring now. So I don't know, dude. Nobody's really giving you much credit. So we'll see if you can turn heads.
I don't need some idiot from Georgia have to give me any credit. Here's the bottom line, JC.
Well, they've won twice.
But I'm going to tell you right now, your team is not going to win 10 games this year.
Okay. Well, listen, I'm not talking about my team. I
know, but would you like to make a wager on that?
Let me think about it. I'll see who they got at quarterback. It's going to matter because quarterback.
Well, you got to do it before the game starts.
Well, I know. Well, what month are we in now?
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you right now, I think the Gators will win 8 football games.
Okay. Listen, that's nice. I know you're very excited about the 8 wins, but again, nobody else in the world believes you. Okay. So,
but here's the thing.
Prove them wrong.
Do I care what anyone else says? No. To my opinion.
I guess the point I'm making is that nobody's scared of the Gators, and that's the only point I'm making.
That's fine. I'm not saying they're great. I'm just telling you.
Prove them wrong. Prove them wrong.
But my point is, right now, JC, let me ask you this. If Florida had to play Kentucky tomorrow, do you think Kentucky's going to beat them?
I mean, can I flip a coin?
Do you think Missouri's going to beat them?
I'll flip a coin. Flip a coin.
Okay. Do you think South Carolina's going to beat them?
Coin flip.
Okay. Here's what I will tell you, though, because I will also bet you that Tennessee does not win their team total this year.
And what was that?
I think it's 9.
Damn. Okay, I'll look at that schedule too. I'll be ready for these predictions.
Tennessee is not going to be what they were last year. You can mark my word on that.
It's hard to lose a freaking, could have been Heisman Trophy winning quarterback QB. That's not really going out on a limb there, bro.
Well, here's Joseph. Joseph says, hang on a second. Joseph says on Facebook Live, ESPN has Florida favored in every game except Utah, LSU, Georgia, and Tennessee.
That's 8 wins. That doesn't mean they're going to win them.
No, it doesn't. But I'm just telling you, it's here's. Let me ask you this. Because I had an argument with this, not an argument, a discussion with this guy. Would you feel any different if Anthony Richardson was the quarterback?
Well, I mean, we are talking about the 4th pick of the NFL draft.
That has nothing to do with it. That's all about potential.
Yeah, no, I don't. I think I might.
It wasn't results.
Okay, I'll tell you why I would be a little bit more confident with him there, because I think the past year could allow him to improve this year based on what he saw, what he may have learned. And I also think having continuity with the same coaching staff would help. And I also think,
but let me ask you this, JC.
So yes, I think
is he better, the same as the player he was at Citizens Field?
At Citizens Field, yeah, I think he's better. But I don't know what that means, because I could have easily said he's the same, but nobody's drafting a high school player at Eastside High School with that ability and in the 4th round of the NFL draft. There's obviously something that people like about him. And,
right, but I'm telling you right now,
I think he would have been better this year if he had stayed at Florida than what we saw last year, because of the natural reasons why I just mentioned.
I disagree with that, because it's the old saying when people used to say, well, Billy Donovan or whoever this basketball, he didn't develop that player. There's a point where a guy is what he is. Okay.
Well, you should have called the Colts then.
The Colts, good luck to them. Like I said, I'm pulling for them, but I'm telling you right now, there's certain things that you can get better at, and there's certain things you can't.
So what does Graham Mertz do that makes you feel like he's going to be better?
He's not going to make splash plays. I've already said it. But what Graham Mertz is going to do, and I've talked to several coaches, not Gator coaches. I'm talking about other coaches, okay, that say that, and I agree with them 100%. He's going to be a guy that the stupid ass game manager term. Okay, let's use that. That's what a lot of Alabama quarterbacks did for many, many years until Bryce Young came along.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mac Jones.
Yeah, which they still call him a game manager. They call him a game manager now for the New England Patriots.
Great pass.
But I'm just telling you, they're going to be way better than the general public and these so-called experts think. Just mark my word on that.
Yeah, you still haven't told me why, but that's fine.
JC, they're going to be more. I just told you. Okay.
I mean, maybe Graham Mertz.
They're going to be more consistent. Consistency wins you football games. Consistency.
Yeah, at some point though, you got to have better players and beat the team on the other
side. I will tell you this: the overall roster that runs out of the tunnel at Utah
will be better
than last year's roster.
And that's another reason why I think if Anthony had played, to answer your initial question, yeah, they will be better. They would be better.
Okay, again, some people are what they are. Okay.
Yeah, and how do you know that Graham Mertz isn't what Graham Mertz is? How do you know
because he's consistent. He's going to throw completions.
I like results. I'm a results guy. I like to see balls in the end zone, and I get it. Paul Chryst offense was, something that dated back to 70,000 before Christ, year 70,000 BC. But, dude, I'm going to have to see it before I get all excited.
That's fine. That is fine. You have your opinion. I have mine. That is perfectly fine. Okay. I'm going to have to see if any of those dudes you got at quarterback can complete a pass.
You know even who they are?
Yes. Jalen Milroe, the Buckner kid from Notre Dame, who's probably going to be your starter.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, and then I don't know about this other kid, this guy from Tennessee, Ty something, but
I would play Ty Simpson over Jalen Milroe.
It could be Ty Simpson. Yeah, and again, we have very limited ideas what they're capable of yet because nothing's been shown.
Right. So, and here's the thing is you're not going to know anything when it's just like I told you that we were so fortunate to beat Utah. Extremely fortunate. I told you after the game that we had no business winning that game.
I saw the game. I was there.
Right. Okay. But I'm telling you right now, and I told you last week, the Florida Gator football team overall will be 1,000 times better than it was last year.
Just get to 8 wins, right? I mean, that's your goal.
They will get to 8 wins. At Chris Doring Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today at 352-244-0840. We'll have Creed Whittemore from Mississippi State join us about 8:30.
Mississippi State. That's a whole new situation up there too. It's just like a new everything.
Tom says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, who's an Alabama guy, game managers at QB win national championships.
Well, look,
Daniel says Mertz won't throw the ball in the stands on 4th down and no time left. There's literally no risk throwing it in bounds, and there's no way you win a game if you throw it in bounds. Huh?
What?
I don't know. But again, like I said, I am pulling for Anthony. Yeah. The Colts, good luck. Right. But I'm asking you right now.
Well,
I'm asking you because you have even said, well, we're not even going to go there. We don't need to go there.
Well, I don't know what I said, but you said something. Okay. The thing is,
I'm just saying, I don't care if you were drafted in the 1st round, the 5th round, the 12th round. That has no bearing on if you come back to school, will you be any good?
Well, but that's a silly question because you're not coming back to school. But I get it. Obviously,
but how many guys have come back and done a damn bit of good?
So I think, I think the thing that I see in a quarterback, and we all like the same things. We love execution, we love efficiency, we love accuracy, we love downfield, we love all these things. But to me, the biggest thing for a QB. And all those things are extremely important, but getting the ball in the end zone and winning games. I know that sounds very simplified, oversimplified.
Okay, so you just made my point without me saying it. Winning games.
Well, we don't have a quarterback on the roster right now that's won a lot of games.
Well, okay, and like I said, this is not a shot at anybody, but we have not won. We've had a losing record the last 2 years.
Yeah, well, this guy that you've got now had a losing record.
Then that's fine. But so you're saying if Anthony came back, we have 2 guys on the roster have losing records.
No, I don't. I mean, I'm not running the roster over there. I'm
making my point that you just said you want guys that win. Okay, we need somebody to win, whether that's Graham Mertz or not. We don't know if Anthony was going to win.
No, I'm defining what's important to me when I watch quarterback play. Leadership, getting the ball in the end zone, winning games.
Exactly. And I'm sitting here telling you right now, in my personal opinion, I think Graham Mertz gives us a better chance to win games.
Okay. Well, I mean, all he's got to do is win more than 6. Right. So, I think that's doable. I hope it is for the sake of this program because it better be. Like you said, it's imperative. And, in 2024, when everything changes, it's going to get harder, not easier. But it might get easier because the schedule, or rather the roster, will continue to improve, and it has to.
Well, I will say this. 2024 recruiting class, Georgia 1, Florida's 2. No, Ohio State's 2, Florida's 3, then Alabama's 4.
Yeah, and all that's subject to change, right? So we get excited about that, but that's when things really do change. I mean, the landscape will change considerably, but this is an important year for certain teams, and Florida is definitely one of those teams where this is a very important year for the program. Absolutely.
Yeah, it definitely is. So
you need that guy up in Georgia, not that you care, but you need them to start fearing you again, and they have none. And that's the problem, is that rivalry is going the wrong way and fast. So
let me tell you something. It ain't just Florida, Georgia. It's whoever the dogs suit up against.
Well, I mean, Georgia,
they're the premier team in America. Your team is not anymore.
There's no doubt about it. But damn it, last year they were beat on that field and beat badly until some guys got hurt. And we all know what happened. We saw it. And Georgia was very fortunate, just like they were the year before when they got to play Alabama with none of their players on the roster that beat the hell out of them in the SEC.
But hang on, JC.
And don't hang on nothing. They got their tails kicked in the SEC championship game and played a different team 9 days later. And last year, Ohio State went up and down the field on Kirby's great defense that's all in the NFL today because C.J. Stroud ate them alive. And that's the truth. That's the truth.
Okay,
so
well,
Georgia's
every game is different.
You have to get a little fortunate.
Was Alabama fortunate to beat Georgia the previous year?
To beat Georgia the previous year? What?
And whatever the damn when Tua threw the touchdown?
On Jalen Hurts Day or on 2nd and 26?
The 2nd and 26. Were they fortunate?
No, Tua was on the roster. And he just
I said, were they fortunate to win the game?
Yeah, but they had a great season that year.
Okay, well, I mean, everything is different. You have to make plays. Give Georgia credit. They made plays. I don't care who got hurt. They came from behind and won the game.
It matters. You know damn well it matters. You saw the game. I saw the game. You can throw the ball in Georgia. You can go deep on them. You can go midfield. You can run post. And Jameson Williams, John Mechie, Marvin Harrison, and if Jigba had been in that game, they would have ran the score up on Georgia. So I mean,
you don't know that.
All this
you don't know that.
Yeah, I do know that. You know that too. And C.J. Stroud ate them alive. And by the way, they didn't have a field goal kicker that could hit 130 yards. Georgia would have lost that too. So, I talked to an Ohio State guy this weekend, the entire damn weekend. They're still pissed off about the way that game ended, but that's the way it goes. That's football. It's too bad.
Hey, they found a way to lose it. They found a way to lose.
I know. They were up 18, and then they got their players hurt. So, yeah.
And, I mean, look, one player got hurt. Wasn't it one player?
Look.
A wide receiver. Last time I checked, he don't play defense.
Yeah, you couldn't stop him. And
give Stetson Bennett and the offense credit.
Okay. Well, Stetson Bennett's a Ram now. So
yeah.
See how that goes.
And he's a damn – it doesn't matter what he did. It's what he did as a Georgia Bulldog. He may never take a snap in the National Football League.
No, he may never. And he can – he's got the key to the state of Georgia. No doubt about it. But I mean, I don't deny that, yeah, you need a little bit of good fortune and luck, maybe, to win a national title, except that 2010 Alabama team that didn't need anything but just another day to wake up. But and the 20, I guess that
was 12, 13 years ago, JC. Nobody cares about them anymore.
The 2020 Alabama.
Nobody cares about them anymore.
Well, 2020 Alabama team didn't need a lot of good fortune. They just, same thing with 2019 LSU. They same thing. Offense was unstoppable.
I'm just telling you right now that Florida will be a better football team than they were last year.
Yeah, they better be. They have to be, QB. How can you get much worse? You got run over by Vanderbilt, for Christ's sakes. You got to be.
They didn't get run over. We
got run over.
QB. We played so bad on just in certain situations and did so many dumb things.
I know. It's awful. But, hey, they'll get to play them again. You can have a revenge game against Vanderbilt this year at the Swamp, QB.
That's right. That's right. Ruse Ogre State Farm Office is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visit ogreinsurance.com. Give them a call at 352-240-1779. A few more minutes with JC, then we'll have Creed Whittemore if he can figure out how to get on the program. You think this young kid knows how to work Zoom? And
he should definitely be able to figure that out.
He's texting me wanting to know how he does it. So
QB, tell me how many games the Tampa Bay Rays are going to win this year. I mean,
what's their record right now?
Well, they're running away with the American League Eastern Division. I'll tell you what the record is. Just give me a second, because it is a great.
Well, while you're looking that up,
how about
Dan wants to know: are you going to address your Alabama baseball coaching staff getting fired for betting on Bama baseball?
No, I don't follow them. I know Bohannon,
Did they bet on Bama or bet against Bama?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't follow it, but they beat Vanderbilt this weekend. Tampa Bay, 28 wins, 7 losses, dude. 28-7. 28-7. I mean, so I don't know. I mean, Alabama's baseball program, AD's got to get control of that. But right now, your Rays are 6 games ahead of, or 5.5 games ahead of Baltimore. And my pathetic Yankees are a 500 team, 10 games out. So even though it's May, that's just not fun to look at. And how about the Texas Rangers, 20-13? That was a cellar dweller last year, right? And then the Pittsburgh Pirates is your leader in the NL Central at 20-15. The Braves, of course, at 24-11. They're already locked up the National League East. That race is now over. Their magic number is 100. And in the National League West, the Dodgers and the surprising Arizona Diamondbacks. I had the Dodgers Saturday night, want to bet on a 2-run homer, 2-1 game over the Padres.
All right, hang on a second. Creed really is having trouble getting on, believe it or not.
Well, why don't you let the producer deal with that, QB?
I'm trying to text them all that information right now.
Okay. While you do that, I'm going to, so we don't sit here dead air while you play producer, I'm going to tell you that the Dodgers are 21-14, the Pirates are 20-15, the Braves are 24-11. They're 7 games up on the Miami Marlins and the New York Mets. I think the city of New York this weekend, or past week in baseball, lost just about every game between the Yankees and Mets. And the Braves are 7 games ahead.
Why don't you want to talk about how bad the Yankees are?
Well, it's not hard to talk about. Their players refuse to play because their fingers hurt, or they've got a bruised leg, or they've got they need to.
Well, are you done with them? Are you done with the Yankees?
I'm just so tired of him overpaying for these washed up guys that don't play. They got this jerk from San Francisco, Rodon. He gets to spring training. You would think he would have kept himself in shape instead of eating at McDonald's every night. Nothing against McDonald's, but you can't do it every night. And he shows up overweight. He's hurt. They give him $1 trillion, and he hasn't thrown one ball. Either in spring, he threw a few games in spring training. He was San Francisco's best pitcher, and for that, you get the entire borough of Staten Island to come play for the Yankees, and you can't even throw your fat butt up on the mound and throw a pitch because I don't know.
So who's going to have a better year, the Yankees in baseball or the Gators in football?
I hope the Gators.
I think they will.
I'm so tired.
Before we get out of here, Alan wants to know, how many games do y'all think Neon Dion's going to win at Colorado?
I got him
at 5. I say no more than 4.
I got 4 too. They're going to go 0-4 to start the year. Just look at their schedule, and luckily they play in the Pac, whatever it is today, 10, 12, 8, and so they play in that league, which is purely pathetic, and so that helps Colorado. But I think we're going to see some huge changes. I don't know when. Some guy was tweeting about how the ACC is going to just break up. All the presidents are going to get together, and they're going to somehow get the rights that they sold off back from from the league. And I don't know, but he's got like Clemson and Florida State.
All right, well, JC, hold that thought for Wednesday, because we got to get you out of here.
Oh, you got Creed now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll see
you
guys.
JC, have a great day. That's JC joins us on the Titan Tomorrow Hotline. Take a quick timeout. Come back. We'll be joined by Mississippi State's Creed Whittemore, Florida's Mr. Football. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. We'll be right back.
We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official injury and accident law attorneys of the Florida Gators. Peaceland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise.
Campus USA Credit Union.
QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Dave & Buster's, eat, drink, play, and watch. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co., Ruse Ogre State Farm Insurance, Doreen Wibby, Realtor Caldwell Banker, MM Parish. Our touchdown sponsors are Adams Ribs, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteak, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Aver and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352-284-3733. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Hi, this is Steve Spurrier, former head ball coach of our Florida Gators. Business is booming at our restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. So we're looking to hire 3 top quality front of the house managers and assistant managers. Restaurant talent acquisition is like building a championship football dynasty, and I'm recruiting great people to join our newest team. Thanks to the overwhelming support of people here in Gainesville, the Gator Nation, and fans of all the teams, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill is one of the busiest restaurants in the state. And with our weekend brunch buffet and our takeout options coming soon, we're looking to add a few new restaurant leaders. Everyone knows a coach sometimes is about as good as all of his talent, his players, and his assistant coaches. And if you have a restaurant management experience and are looking to work in a fast-paced, fun environment, then go to www.spurriers.com and apply today. Thank you, and go Gators.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Celebration points where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Regal Cinemas, The Keys, Dave & Buster's, Palmetto Moon, Starbucks, Visor Rooftop, and the HBC's restaurant Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, the #1 celebrity polished casual restaurant in America. We'll see you at Celebration Point where the Gators go to celebrate. We're now going to go back to the Titan More hotline, and we are joined by Creed Whittemore, Mr. Football in the state of Florida, now a member of the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Good morning, Creed. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How about y'all? I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. Hey, I want to ask you, first of all, you were an early enrollee there in Starkville. How'd the spring go for you?
Yeah, it went really well. I think the early enrollee format is really good for high schoolers. I think it gives us an opportunity to be able to compete and earn some playing time in the fall. It just gives you that opportunity to get up to your school and learn the offense and just get acclimated with college life. And I really like it. I think it's good for college football and good for players that are trying to get on the field early in their career.
Obviously at Mississippi State, Steve Spurrier Jr. was recruiting you really hard under Mike Leach, and we all know the passing of Coach Leach. But obviously you fell in love, I guess, with Starkville or Mississippi State University. Thought it was a good fit for you because a lot of times, kids choose a school just due to the coach. What made you like Mississippi State so much?
Yeah, I think a big part of why we've been able to win some games in the past couple of years is because of our locker room and just the community and the people we have in Mississippi that support our program. And I think that leaks into the team. And I think we have one of the best locker rooms in the country. Just team bonding and just guys really caring about each other and caring for the guy next to you. And I think we have something that a lot of people don't, and that we're more like a high school team than a college team. We're really tight, and we got guys that care about each other on and off the field.
When you go back, you played it a little. I mean, you were supposed to be a wide receiver in high school, but you ended up having to play quarterback and became the player of the year, Mr. Football, and all that stuff. Do you wish you could have played more receiver, or did you enjoy playing quarterback?
I enjoyed playing quarterback. I think in high school it's always fun to have the ball in your hand, and I ended up really enjoying being a quarterback and all the stuff that comes with, and just being the leader of your team and always being behind center and having that opportunity to make a play. So I'm grateful that I was able to have that opportunity to play quarterback in high school, and I think it shaped some of my ideas about football, and it definitely helped with playing receiver also.
Yeah, we got a text here on the Titan More text line from John. He says, Creed, Do you like the new head coach at Mississippi State? And what position do they have you penciled in right now?
Yeah, I do like the head coach. He was our defensive coordinator under Coach Leach, and we just hired from within. And I think he does a really good job. He's got a lot of energy and runs around the practice field, and I think he's good for who we are as a team. And right now I'm playing slot, so we run more of like a pro style offense now. So we have kind of more of a true slot guy. So that's what they got me at right now.
And your offensive coordinator is a guy who's actually here at the University of Florida under Jim McElwain, I think is like a director of football ops, but Kevin Barbe, I think is his name. He's the new OC who came from Central Michigan, correct?
Yes.
And he's running like kind of a pro style. Because I guess what I asked you, Will Rogers is still the quarterback there. I don't think he's ever taken a snap from under center. Did he line up under center some in the spring?
Yeah, so Will hadn't taken a snap from under center since I think he said like his sophomore year of high school or something. So it's been different for him. But I think he's embraced it well, and he knows that if he has any shot at going to the NFL, that he's got to kind of obviously learn how to be a pro style QB, and so he's definitely taken the change well, and tried to put all his efforts into being more of a pro style guy, and I think it's gonna be something good for us, and I think we got some good running backs, and I think getting them into the mix is big for opening up shots down the field.
We're speaking with Creed Whittemore here, Mississippi State wide receiver, Florida Mr. Football last year in the state of Florida on the Titan Tomorrow hotline. So having your first spring under your belt, like your first college practices, what was the biggest adjustment? I mean, obviously the speed of the game was a lot faster than playing on Friday nights, but what was the biggest adjustment you had to make in those 15 practices?
I think the biggest thing is, every rep is, either being graded or watched on film, and you can't really just jog a rep, or even if it's just routes on air. It's always full speed, and especially with our corners and safeties, we got some bigger guys and fast guys, and you always got to be on your toes and ready for anything. I think just the difference would just be making sure you're locked in at all times for a change of a play, or a change of a route by Will, or if he gives you an audible, or something in that ballpark. I think because of how athletic every single guy on the field is, you got to be you got to separate yourself with something, and I think that just comes with knowing where to go and when to go there.
We got another text here on the Titan Tomorrow text line from Joey in Nashville. He says, Creed, did you enjoy playing for your dad in high school, or was it very difficult?
That's a good question. I did enjoy playing for him. I think I watched him coach my older brothers, and I was ready to get out there and be coached by him, and it was a good time. We had some arguments and some quarterback to coach conversations, but it was always a good time, and we had some good memories on the field, and some cool wins, and game winners, or stuff like that. But it was always cool to see your dad on the sideline calling plays, and it was something that I won't take for granted.
Trent, who actually did his internship hosting a show here on my podcast, is now down at UCF. I've heard that he's become really good friends with their quarterback, which as a receiver, it's always good to be good friends with the quarterback. But do you talk? How much do you get to talk to Trent?
Yeah, I talk to him just about every day. I'm really tight with my brothers, and we try to talk just about every day. And he's doing good. Yeah, like you said, he's made some good friends, including John Rice, and you know, he fit in, you know, really well, and you know, he's gonna hopefully do good things there, and on and off the field, and you know, he's a guy that can fit in anywhere and make friends just about anywhere. So I think he's doing really well.
So I have a question. You have there's 4 boys in the family. Luke, who's the oldest, who played ball at Troy. Then you got Trent, who's now at UCF. Yourself at Mississippi State. Andrew is a youngster who's playing a little bit of football, mostly a golfer. Mom was the volleyball player here at Florida. Dad played at UCF. Who's the best athlete in the entire family?
I'd have to go with either my mom or my little brother. I think my little brother is going to be a heck of a football player, and he's already, you know, a really good golfer, and you know, he's doing something that none of us did, and that's, you know, out there shooting, you know, 75s or whatever he's shooting right now. So you know, I think it's impressive what he's doing, and you know, the shoes he's got to, you know, live up to, and he's taking it head on, and you know, he's throwing it really well right now, and I'm proud to see what he's doing.
We got another text here on the Titan More text line from Bob. Bob says, Creed, can you kind of give us a rundown of what your schedule's like for the next few months leading up to the season?
Yeah, so we get about 3 weeks off here in May. I was able to come home about a week and a half early because I had some online exams. So I was able to get out of there and get back to the house. But yeah, we'll go back. We have a workout May 30th, and then we'll be there all summer, and we'll just be working out, you know, lifting, having some OTAs and some little practices, and then we'll jump right into it. We'll go to fall camp, and you know, then start the season. So after this little break, you know it's pretty busy. So we'll try to go win some games this year.
Vince has a question for you here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Meldon Law. He wants to know, how much is Creed weighing these days?
I weigh about 183, 184. Before spring, around like March, I was getting up to like 186, but after spring, I dropped down a little bit, probably to 183.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how fast you actually are. Are you the fastest guy on Mississippi State's roster?
Probably me, and then we got the senior that I'm backing up right now at slot is really fast. I'd probably be in the top 3 in 100, just because, you know, I tend to catch people on the back end. But we got some fast guys in the 40. I'm up there though, for sure.
Ace has a question on Facebook Live, brought to you by Meldon Law. He says, with the unfortunate death of Coach Leach, would you have been able to transfer any way you wanted? Because I want to say, didn't you sign before he passed away?
So he passed away a week before signing day.
Oh, okay.
And so yes, that's a good question. I could have, because of a head coach passing away, I was free to sign anywhere. I think it's some rule, some weird rule. Like, even after I had signed, I could have like gotten out of it, appealed to the NCAA, and I could have signed somewhere else. But yes, to answer his question, yes.
All right. Dan's got a question on Facebook. You ever been to Bob's Frozen Custard in Starkville?
Say it again.
Bob's Frozen Custard. I guess it's some kind of ice cream place.
I haven't, but I have heard of it. And
yeah, he says he wondered if they're still selling the Dan Mullen lateral move frozen custard, I guess. So
yeah, I heard about that, how they had a special when Dan Mullen came to Florida, and said Dan Mullen or the Danimal and lateral move. I did hear about that, and I heard the ice cream is really good.
I have a question for you. Have you bought mom and dad a cowbell yet?
I haven't. Coach Spurrier gave my dad one. So, like you can't like buy your first cowbell.
Right. They have to be given to you. You're exactly right. Yep.
So Coach Spurrier, the junior, gave my dad one and my mom one. So they both have one. So I'll end up getting them one, but right now they're set for the season.
Now, do you play any golf, Creed?
I do play golf. Yeah.
Have you played Mossy Oak yet?
So I haven't, but when I get back, I'm gonna try to play a decent amount. I just never got over to it. I stuck with the Starkville course in the spring, and kind of dinged up my shoulder in the spring game, a little AC. So I wasn't able to play that last month or so after the spring. But when I get back, I'm definitely going to be out there just about every day.
All right. Last question. We'll get you out here on the Titan MR text line. Is from Bob. Bob says, this is a tough question here. He says, Creed, how difficult was it to decommit from Florida being a Gainesville kid?
Yeah, it was difficult because I've always wanted to be a Gator, and I grew up crying when we would lose to Georgia, and I was just like everybody else here in Gainesville, and it was difficult, but if you look at the big picture, you got to do what you think you're gonna like the most, and I think for me it was good to get out of the city and learn some stuff on my own, and go do something that nobody's done yet in my family. And I think building my own path was something that I wanted to do.
Yeah, very cool. All right, I got one more clip here on Facebook Live, and obviously you didn't play in the air raid, but he's talking about, I guess, your entire offense. He says, has it been difficult for the transition from the air raid to the pro style offense?
Yeah, I think it was at the beginning, personnel wise. I think once we get our personnel, through the portal and get our tight ends, I think it'll be smoother. But yes, right when we started, it was a little difficult to, it's always difficult if you're going from one offense to another. But by the end of the spring, I think we look pretty good, and I think we're gonna be just fine this year.
Well, Creed, we appreciate you taking the time, my man. I know it's your off time, getting some rest and having some fun. Appreciate you joining the program. We wish you a lot of luck. We'll follow you this year as a Mississippi State Bulldog, and stay healthy, my man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having me on. It was a good time.
Yep, that's Creed Whittemore, Mississippi State wide receiver, Florida Mr. Football. Join us on the Titan MR hotline. Campus USA brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life with Campus USA Credit Union this day in sports, which is brought to you by them. In 2014, the NFL draft, which is weird, it was on this day. South Carolina outside linebacker Jadeveon Clowney, Coach Spurrier guy, was the first pick by the Houston Texans. Hope you enjoyed today's program. Appreciate JC and Creed Whittemore for joining us. Have a great day, folks. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.